for millennia, because we all share it.
Yeah, so even though we're not necessarily all here in person together, we can feel that connection with each other. So if you're here online, consider you here with us by the fire. This has been a long time in coming. Eric and I have been seeing since COVID, even before then, how tense the world can feel and how tense a lot of us are. It's been our job as massage therapists to help bring peace to people around the world and in our communities.
So that our differences are, we all share in breath.
Yeah.
Through breathing, connect to each other,
Yeah.
and to our peace inside of it ourselves.
That's right. When things feel especially like things tend to be right now in the world, it seems like we need something to hold on to, some kind of ground that we can work with that brings us to a center that feels like it's constant, even when things feel really around us. So that's why we've been working for the last few years to create this program we made called Nature Body Connection. And what we wanted to do was bring the peace of a massage to people wherever they are, whatever they need, where you don't need to necessarily be with someone in person, but through story and your imagination and visualization and touch, you can bring your body into a state of healing. When things get tense and when we get stressed, no matter what the stress is, it could just be that we have too much to do. Our bodies react like there's a threat to their survival. So they go into that survival. Our immune system shut off, and our hearts start to pound, our circulation starts to flow, so we can run away or fight the danger. But that's not what we need. We need to be in that place of healing, calm, rest. And so when we can bring our own bodies into that place, then they do begin to heal themselves. Circulate back to our immune systems, digestion, reproductive systems. We can live those long, healthy, and happy lives. So, today we're going to be breathing. We're going to be sharing in the air and breath and finding that place within ourselves and a feeling of connection with each other around the world, which is what we all need right now.
And with this theme of nature and connection, it means that there are many different cues in the world that can help us find that sense of peace. So hopefully you feel more empowered after this session to be able to recognize the things that are always all around us. It can remind us of how we come back to our center, even when things are a little bit crazy around us.
Let's begin by taking a breath. Breathing in, holding our breath just a little bit. Breathing out, and holding our breath out. And again, breathing in, hold, breathing out. Hold. Half of the oxygen on the earth is created by plants and in our forests. The other half is created by tiny phytoplankton in our oceans.
So right now, being springtime, we're coming into bloom in the northern hemisphere, producing more and more oxygen. So the northern hemisphere across the whole planet is making more oxygen right now, as the southern hemisphere goes into its dormancy. And likewise, come our trees will shut down, and then a lot of our air will come from the circulation patterns around the globe, bringing oxygen from the southern hemisphere up to the north.
NASA even did these time-lapse satellite images where you can see the springtime come and this flush of green oxygen coming into the planet, to the northern hemisphere, and then it's cycling down to the southern hemisphere. And as it flows, you can literally watch the breeze. So springtime, then inhale of the earth. So when you breathe, you're literally connecting to the planet. Eric and I have a couple of breathing exercises that, as we go along here, that help bring you into that parasympathetic rest and digest nervous mode, that place of calm and healing. It's also called safe and social. When we're relaxed, we tend to make more connections and feel happier and kinder about the earth. So I wonder, how much of what's going on is that people are just plain stressed out. We can start here together. So go ahead and you can bring your hands to your shoulder, to your rib cage, to the base of your ribs. Now, as you breathe in, feel your ribs expanding outward. It might be subtle, and you might really feel it. And exhaling, let them drop out. A lot of us breathe into our chests, and when we do that, it tenses up our necks and our shoulders. So bringing your breath down here brings it to more than your abdomen.
Letting our shoulders fall. You might even feel it into your glutes as it all fills up with air down there. Full exhales. Really let all that air out. After that exchange, we're letting the gases that need to go out of our system to invite room for the new.
Breathing in, we relish the sweet air created by the trees and the thing in the ocean. The inhale of spring. The swirls around the planet, enters our lungs, and we hold that breath in with the fullness of summer. Exhaling. When our ribs draw in, we big breath out onto the earth. The exhale of autumn to continue the journey of love. And holding our breath out, we pause. We pause between the seasons, the time of winter. When you're ready, you can just do whatever you like with your hands. Throughout this meditation, you may want to make sure that you're not breathing into your chest. That's a great time just to put your hands there and just check your breath. So today, we're going to journey through seasons, the elements that are associated with that. Springtime and air, summertime and fire, or maybe under the stars. Exhale of autumn and earth and full. And then water is the winter element. So instead of going into the snow we just come out of, we're going to go to the water and enjoy that.
So as you breathe, we're going to enter into story time here. So imagine yourself as the I in the story. You are the center of the story. Our bodies and brains are wired for story. And when you imagine things vividly, you can actually find a physical response in your own body. Springtime air in the high desert. Imagine the ceiling is lifting, dissolving. The bright blue skies above us. We can see all the way down to the horizon in every direction.
It's springtime in the high desert. I am in the high desert, a wide open country with expansive blue skies. I drink in the long view over the ancient land. These are the wild lands of the West, where antelope and elk run free and bald eagles fly high. The air is so salty. I am uplifted by the feeling of freedom and aliveness. Wind blows across the open land. Sweetened with juniper berry, it drifts across the highlands and into the tops of the ponderosa pines. Their crowns dance and their needles sing softly with the breeze. I watch and listen to the waves of wind swirling over the landscape and inspiring my joyous spirit. As if the voices of the desert are carried on wind. Clouds dance across the bright blue. The clouds are shaped by the wind over the landscape. With long, sweeping brushstrokes, the clouds speak of the wide open fetch of the grasslands. I breathe in deeply to feel connected to clouds. My lungs are open and free. The clouds are showing you the wind and the lay of the land. I watch and imagine the invisible dance of wind at each elevation, down to my level. The grasses dance, and I am buoyed by the movement I see. I imagine myself light of foot, dancing in the grasses, with my head in the clouds. I turn into the wind and feel it blow into my nostrils, my throat. The sky is offering me breath. I allow it to fill my lungs, receive the healing spirit of the high desert. I close my eyes to feel the wind more. My body feels light and airy. I imagine dissolving into the wind and becoming one with the open skies.
As you breathe, try adding nasal breathing. Do not breathe out of your mouth at all. Breathing in, feel the wind swirl around the terminates of your nose, up through your, down your spine. Breathing out, feeling that sense of renewal and activation that the next breath will be there when you want it.
When we breathe in through our nose, nitrous oxide is produced, which allows our body more oxygen, 20% more. So if you're ever feeling breathless, even though you want to gasp, close your mouth and breathe in through your nose, and eventually your body will feel it and register that oxygen.
There are infinite examples of how nature teaches us to breathe more expansively and to feel more vividly. As we sit here, a red-tailed hawk is soaring high above the grasslands, wings outstretched, feeling the lift of heat welling up from the ground. Let us breathe with the feeling of freedom of the hawk. Somewhere in the world, a child is looking up at the clouds, drifting across the sky. Let us breathe with the creative visions of that child. Somewhere in the world, a young bird is perched bravely at the edge of its nest, ready for its first flight. Let us breathe with the courage of that bird. Somewhere, an elephant is standing dry ground, pressing her foot into the earth. With the sensitivity of her feet, she hears the rumbling call of other elephants miles away. Let it with the sensitivity of that elephant.
The sky becomes dark. Night has descended on the land. The stars come out.
Come join me by a campfire, beautiful evening under the stars. Today's hike to picturesque mountaintop has left my body tired and my mind clear. My friends and I have built a camp forest clearing and are warming ourselves in its glow. I am deeply enjoying this relaxing evening. Our view of the sky is crystal clear, down to the horizon. I am breathing pure mountain air on this beautiful evening. We look up into the velvet black sky. One by one, the stars appear, eyes sprinkled with millions. Strewn with innumerable stars, The night sky guides our minds away from any remaining thought into the awe of our home in this vast universe, in this present moment. My friends and I are silent now. The warmth of the fire draws our glowing red embers. Circled around the campfire, we warm our hands to its radiant glow. The fire crackles faintly. The glow of coals pulse as if living bands of heat are traveling through them. The blackness above becomes thicker, richer, and the stars shimmer as the Milky Way slowly reveals itself. The galaxy is spectacular, a thick cloud, billions of stars. My ears reach to detect the soft sounds of the now silent night. The drumbeat of my heart brings rhythm to the night sky. I feel the thick air settling in for the night. I inhale and drink the air down the back of the body, expanding my connection with the earth. I exhale effortlessly. I inhale. The air floated back and then sinks down into my hips. I exhale. I feel the spirit of the previous breath infusing my cells. I inhale. My body is opening and expanding, dissolving into the space beyond my skin. I am boundless. The fog of my exhale in the cool night air dissolves into the cloud of the Milky Way. I blend into the earth, into space, being a part of the timeless universe.
And as you breathe, think about your exhales, letting them lengthen. Inhale and exhale, long, full exhales. As you exhale, you're reassuring your body that it's safe. It isn't enough survival right now, that it can enter that repair, heal. Even at the end of that exhale, pause. When your lungs are empty, that's the part of your heard you're most connected to spirit. That kind of vulnerability, trust. Trust that you are part of something bigger, timeless, a deeper resonance than the frenetic modern world. There's a pulsing, a rhythm to the planet that's been here for millions of years, that we're part of. For so many generations, people have been breathing, and that breath, that timeless breath, has now become our breath. As we are here on this planet, in this lifetime, we're part of a great story that's circling around the planet and has been for so long. Somewhere, right now, a man is telling stories to his grandchildren by a campfire. Their eyes are watching him in rapt attention in the glow of the fire. Let us breathe with their anticipation. Somewhere, a silent owl is perched in a tree, listening waiting to hear the faint rhythm of the mice as they skitter across the forest floor. Let us breathe with the hope of that hour. Someone is grieving in the darkness. Let us grieve and love for that person. And somewhere, under the night sky full of stars, a whale is breaching the surface of the ocean to spout and take a deep breath for its next deep dive. Let us breathe with that whale. As the stars continue to circle the stars, to circle the sky, all share the same breath. Breathing in and breathing out.
Breathing the air around me softens as I notice the hint of her grieving. The walls of the room dissolve, and I am in a forest.
I stand in an ancient forest. Moss hangs in the giant trees and covers the rocks. There is a quiet stillness here in this beautiful, harmonic hush. The presence of life, both seen and unseen. Mist hovers in the air. Trees drip its cool, condensed freshness. Giant evergreen trees above me. These trees have existed together for centuries. They have witnessed life change as their roots weave a fabric of life and support communication beneath the soil. It is a misty day, and a soft veil of suspended cloud vapor hovers in the air. The gray sky gives the greens of the forest plants a neon glow. Each needle of every tree is outlined in silver mist. A trail lies ahead of me. It invites me to follow its meandering. A cool breeze wraps around me, gently whispering to me that the light is ahead. I walk slowly along the winding path through the ancient forest. The quiet rhythm of my footsteps is soothing. I into a meditative peace. As misty dewdrops moisten the soil, the deep, pungent aroma of earth wells up. I am bathed in the forest's fragrance. It will linger in awareness long after my walk is finished. The path makes slight turns, winding between trees and following the contours of the earth. It rises and falls gently, and I glide on, my legs moving easily and freely. I breathe in. The air is cool and moist and fresh. My belly expands with my inhale. Clean air flows deep in my lower body, my hips, my pelvis. I imagine my body rising as it's filled with the forest air, floating as if my feet are earth more tender. My spine stretches tall as if I were one of the towering trees, reaching for the sky. I am at once part of the subterranean world below and the forest canopy above. I imagine my feet reaching down through the earth while the crown of my head rises to the highest branches. My presence fills the forest as I glide quickly along the path. I am a part of this landscape.
Breathe tall, letting our shoulders melt away. Feeling the air lift squishy places between our spine. Feeling our spine grow taller out of the crown of our heads. As I exhale, I firm my abs to exhale more fully. Inviting more cleansing on the next inhale. I breathe with the trees. As the trees exhale, I inhale. As I exhale, the trees inhale. We are joined in the circle of life, even through our breath.
The sky begins to move, and we feel a spring, a mist there. We are walking toward a grand waterfall.
The waterfall's distant hush becomes louder until its booming presence dominates the soundscape. The waterfall is a symphony of sound, from its frothy, effervescent hiss to its deep-throated rumbles. Its music reverberates. Sun streams the mist of the falls, refracting rainbows in the air around me. Vibrant green that surround the waterfall, plunging into a deep blue. Birds flutter into the trees. Yellow butterflies float through the sunshine. A small cascade near the main waterfall looks inviting. I'm drawn to its soft water. I walk toward it and put my hand into the stream. Its tingling, frothy bubbles feel wonderful on my skin. I stand under a cascade and feel it drumming on my shoulders and back. My muscles soft beating of the water. On this warm day, the cool, misty spray from the falls is welcome on my skin. My feet in the cool spray. The contrast of cool water and warm sun sends circulation rushing through my veins. I feel invigorated. The crashing of the water ionizes the air. I inhale, feeling the satisfying and rejuvenating of the healing mist. I exhale. I cleanse my body of stagnant energy. My skin is damp. I feel cleansed and joyful.
As you breathe, imagine the flow of breath coming up from the ground, up through the center of your body, up the center of your leg, up your spine, through your neck and head, down the outside of your body, down your ears, your shoulders, your arms, your legs, and back into the earth. Breathing in, feeling that flow come up the center of your body. And breathing out, the flow of air and energy float down your body, relaxing your shoulders, your arms, and your hands, and going back into the earth. Flow of water. You experience an internal flow of energy and air through your body. I breathe in rhythm with the press and pull of the ocean on the shore. I breathe with the ocean. Somewhere, a river otter swims on her back, her furry infant baby nestled across her tummy, close, rocking together in the current. Let us breathe with the closeness of the elements. On the other side of the world, a woman is walking miles to the river to gather water for her family, balancing a pail gracefully atop her head. Let us breathe with the dedication of that woman. Someone is breathing the last breath of their life. Let us breathe with them. Over the Southern Ocean, an albatross spreads its wings wide, gliding over the open ocean, catching currents of air and feeling the salty spray of the ocean in its wings. Let us breathe with the albatross. Somewhere, earth is parched and cracked. Someone is praying for rain. Let us breathe and pray for rain with them. As we breathe, there's someone who's just entered the world, an infant placed on their mother's warm chest. Let us breathe with those first sweet breaths of the newborn. and present and loving. It's like through our breath that we are present with one another and that we can express the strength of love, the strength that far outweighs the strength of power, confidence. Simple love, simple breathing that can bring us all together. Every breath we breathe connects us to each other and to the earth. Every breath becomes our prayer. If you enjoyed this, we have a whole program online that has video and story and self-massage and breathing exercises. And we also have our Instagram and Facebook and YouTube channels to post every day to give people a little snippet of peace to kind of go on your day. So feel free to share. We'd really love to spread the word across the world that there's so much more to this existence than this fast pace that we all seem to be running. Just slowing down can really add years to our lives, can make us feel happier, more connected.
For those of us who enjoy the space between the words, the space between the intention, the parts where we're just beings and not just human doings. Thanks.
Thank you all.
Thank you.